Good evening and welcome to Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the undeniable vixen, your host. And why am I so small? I'm trying to figure that out. I probably have too many different things up. So let me go ahead and jump into beer news. Let's see what we got going on here today. Couple of things. So first off, friend of the show, we have a new release that was actually released during Barrel and Flow called Buzz and Bougie Honey Saison. It's a collaboration with Black Girl on Tap and Attic Brewing. So that was the selection for Barrel and Flow. It was brewed with 120 pounds of wildflower honey. And this saison balances traditional fruit esters and floral notes and sweetness. And the ABV is 10.1. So it'll get you where you need to go. Definitely. Then, and this is also another friend of the show, Equanimity Tequila. They officially launched their investment campaign called the Honeycomb Credit. So this means that you have a chance to invest in Jinx Thirst and be a part of the next big step. So go to I just literally said this name, Equanimity Tequila, their IG, and they have a link. So if you want to, if you've been thinking about investing, becoming a partner with a tequila brand, this is a great one. They are launching and taking over pretty much like Mississippi, that part of the Delta. So check them out and grab some tequila and invest. Then we have Esoteric. They have several different beers that they just released. And it would not let me pop this up here. So they have a Marzen, which is a medium amber in color with fine white head, malt forward with notes of baked bread, light toffee, and toasted grain. Then they have a Berliner Weiss, which is a traditional sour wheat ale with a low ABV and vibrant acidity. Notes of lemon pulp, sourdough, and gives a dry, sparkling finish. Then they also have a Doppelbock, which is the classic German style lager featuring a deep malt character and clean fermentation profile. And the last one, Oktoberfest. So they're ahead of the game with Oktoberfest, which is a fest. They're going to do a festive mix. So it's going to be Oktoberfest and the Marzen, doing a 6-pack of that. With the German-inspired lagers built around with a rich malt-forward character of Marzen and easy sipping for Oktoberfest. So if you're in the area where you can grab some Esoteric, please do so. Then MegaFest, if you are in the DC area, in that little corridor, MegaFest with Soul Mega, they are coming back big and strong because I believe last year they were going to have the festival, but they had to go ahead and change plans. So this year, be there, and it is September. My slide is holding it back. It is September 6th, I do believe. September 6th at 1 p.m. in DC. So check them out. It's going to be food, of course, delicious beer, and I believe music and some crafting. So check them out. Then this is the big thing that I needed to talk about. If you haven't seen it, the thing that's going on with Uncle Nearest and Fawn Weaver, it is really, it's almost soap opera-ish. And sometimes with looking at people as they're talking about it, but just I want to give you the short and dirty of it. So right now, Fawn is under a gag order, but she's still posting, which I don't know how she can do that. But I guess she just can't talk about certain particulars, but she's still talking. And basically, their lender, Farm Credit Mid America, is basically saying that Uncle Nearest owes over $100 million, and the company has stopped making payments. So they had several loans. So one loan they had initially for a set price, and then they added more to it, going up to, I believe, some odd $1 million. It increased like 7 times. And then with the taxes and the loan payments, it ballooned. So that's one of the reasons, they're having an issue. Then the second reason they're having an issue is farm lender, their lender is basically saying that they were told that they had barrels on hand for collateral. So if they defaulted on the loan, hey, they could take those barrels of whiskey and they'll be cool. Everything be good. But they found out that they did not have set amount of barrels. So if they defaulted on the loan, they have nothing to gain. And it was about $21 million less of that. And then the third reason why the lender is suing the company is that $2 million of it was supposed to be purchase of property on Martha's Vineyard. And it was supposed to be Uncle Nearest property where they're supposed to use it for a venue, as well as host different other brands to kind of, get their name out there and kind of host things. It's supposed to be different aspects of that at Martha's Vineyard. And they just recently had their gospel brunch launch. And what they did was they created an LLC called UN House NV LLC, which technically is not owned by Uncle Nearest. So since the lender is saying that they defaulted on the loan, they could have gained that property back. But since it's not in said name, Uncle Nearest, they can't touch it. Now, to me, that sounds like a genius move. I don't know, because, but that's what has happened. And so they can't get that money back on that property. So $21 million inventory discrepancy was made. This is as far as those are the three things that were happening. And so Fawn is saying that, yes, we know that we stopped making payments. Yes, we know that the barrels that were in question it's not there because we had a CFO that gave the wrong information, and we're sorry. There's nothing that we could do that the CFO gave y'all wrong information. Y'all didn't verify it. I'm so sorry. But when we found out about it, we came to you and let you know. And then when they found out that the CFO gave the lender the wrong information, they're trying to make it right. So then they also said that they knew very well about the property and what it was going to be built for and what it was going to be done. And she said that basically your lenders, the people of your company, came and enjoyed the location. They came to Martha's Vineyard. They had excursions. They ate, they drank, they danced, they did everything. And not a word was mentioned about how we were moving. So fast forward to that, they've actually have made payments. They're saying that they didn't make any payments, but Uncle Nearest is saying that they made a payment on the loan of $9 million in 2024 and about $7.5 million for this year. And they also hired a third party to find out about the financials. And they let their lender know that they were going to hire the third party financial company. And they approved it and were on board with it. And the third party lender told them, hey, stop making payments on this loan until we figure out what's what. So she's confused on why they're tripping. And if this is the correct rules of how this has gone on, I would be confused as well. Because out of everything, I mean, from what I've seen with Fawn Weaver and Uncle Nearest, she's been on the up and up. I remember seeing her at CBC talking about how, this business is not for the weary. It's not for the weak. That, you are going to have some times where your account is in the negatives of millions of dollars, and then you're bounced back up. But you have to be there for the long haul. You can't be there. It's not a daytime one and done kind of thing. You have to be in it for the long haul. But what she's been saying to support, clear the shelves. So I will also make that declaration to make sure that you know that if you enjoy Uncle Nearest, go buy a bottle. Go buy a bottle for somebody else. Go buy the trifecta that they have that's available. The rye is my favorite. And that helps to support for their investors and their partners that they are still doing what they need to do. She's still the owner of the company. I know that they have a receivership that just recently happened. So basically someone is overseeing the company and getting the financials together. So we're still, things are still playing out as far as this. I'm hoping that everything will work out because of the momentum of this brand, as well as this company being one of the poster childs for getting backing and those that are coming behind her. So we want to make sure that we support her and make sure you get Uncle Nearest when you can and however you can. And I hope that everything works out when the dust settles. So that was all that I had for beer news. All right. So let me go ahead and bring up my guest. Good evening, John. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Angie? I appreciate you hosting me.
Good, very good. So I guess I know that we know each other, but I'm going to pretend like we're just met, and I have oodles of questions to ask you. But let me see, where can I start? So, what first pulled you into the world of beer?
Well, for the audience listening, I'm John Renthrope. I'm a craft brewer by trade. I own a company called Cajun Fire Brewing Company out in New Orleans, Louisiana, with family-owned beer brand, and it's very similar to what you just shared about like the disparities that exist when we try to get into these spaces. Like the story you just mentioned with Uncle Nearest. Essentially, I couldn't find anyone that would hire me, and I had this skill set, and I saw a need for us to have job opportunities. And I know pioneership can be kind of scary, but at the same time, you got to start somewhere. So when we started our company, it was the first Black-owned beer company in U.S. South history to go into this space. And even that, I always tell people is with a grain of salt. There's been many proprietors before us that existed, but because we weren't classified as human beings, we couldn't own these LLCs and participate in this level of business. So I got started out of necessity. Coming up on the 20-year anniversary of Katrina, a lot of that was tied to that. I wanted to revitalize my community. There's still a lot of blight in the area I live in, which has a high home ownership ratio, but not many commercial businesses. So essentially I got into this industry to start to create change, and I had a skill set of brewing beer that I just couldn't let go to waste,
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't know if you actually get back there and get your hands dirty in brewing, or you're just the person that's the money man that's getting those things together, or are you making the recipes?
I don't know about the money, man. I make, I pretty much wear a lot of different hats. It's a family-owned entity, but anything that needs as a CEO, I don't believe in taking a back seat. Normally, if there's a fire, I'm gonna be right there with whoever is over that management tier to make sure we can see a solution. So between freight, transportation, sometimes I've even had to go and deliver products myself, doing store samples, day-to-day interactions, you name it. it's all on the table.
See, I've never seen a picture of you with your hands dirty, with you raining out or looking at the whirlpool, talking about, okay, I'm finally done with this one. So that I don't know. That's why I
Oh
asked.
yeah, well I'm not admittedly we're not the best marketing. I know we're trying to work on that, but I just at the time when, long story short, at the time when I guess social media was taking off and that was the thing, we was dealing with a lot of different lawsuits. So we had like gag orders where we just got in the habit of not really advertising too much because our competitors really be coming at us sideways. And sometimes, when you're starting out small, can't necessarily expose your hand or be that transparent when you're in a space that doesn't necessarily want you to market disrupt. And I guess that kind of just, I'm a mini millennial, but I don't really be on Instagram like that, to be honest with you. So,
So okay, so it made me think about something that you said. Um, we were talking about roadblocks. Well, I was thinking about roadblocks and the gag order. So, what's the I guess a big brewery that's over there in where you live in New Orleans?
currently, the largest regional brewery we have in the state is Outta Brewing Company, which,
Okay.
like most people know them from Purple Haze and a couple other products
Mhm.
around since I want to say early '80s. So they got a nice saturation point. They really sell a lot of their products in like the Midwest and even the Pacific coast, and they even have a lot of operations where they sell it overseas. I mean, they locked down on the regional New Orleans name, and they've been able to really live off that for quite some time as the I guess go-to New Orleans or the most identifiable go-to New Orleans brewery. We got a couple other big hitters. We got Urban South. We've honestly had closures. Most companies since COVID. I mean, we're in a city that has a huge drinking fondness and a lot of tourists
Mhm.
specifically for that. But we only got 5 operating companies that have EINs that's labeled as brewers in our city.
Right. Okay. Okay. And so when you got like that pushback, was that just instantaneous? Uh, or was it like, okay, I'm putting some stuff out and then all of a sudden somebody knows that I'm out here?
It was all right. So I filed. We did our filing and our trademarking in like 20. We started that process in 2010. By 20,
Mhm.
when we started doing samplings and getting our product out there, that's when we got immediate kickback. Either it was from like derogatory style newsletters, even
Mm.
existing brewing guilds. They would have all kind of stuff in um, these different chat sites and things like that. So
Mm.
uh, it is what it is. I mean, when you market disrupting, essentially, because when we came in from a retail perspective where we didn't have like a tap room or anything. We still don't. We just manufacture and then have our products in off and on premise locations. So like when we come in, that means somebody going out. And if your competition look like me and your generation old company got to move, make way, then I'm sure that does have a certain level of vitriol that they like to do. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but it's been great. I mean, we've been growing. Honestly, coming into that space at a young age as an entrepreneur, it really groomed me in a lot of different ways. Where now, when I go into other business industries, it's not as daunting or intimidating.
Okay. So can you tell me a time or that you can remember one of your biggest triumphs so far?
Our most recent triumph that's probably gonna have the most lasting just footprint. My family, we recently became distributors nationwide. So
Awesome.
yeah, we created a company. We began our paperwork process in May 22nd. August 4th. Actually, I didn't even know about it till I got back from Barrel and Flow Fest. Uh,
Mhm.
but August 4th, the federal government approved my family's distribution company where we are legally distributors in all 50 states of hard spirits, wine, and malt beverages. The company is called Nosper International. To my knowledge, because we are tribal members of the United Nations Homa Indians. It's an indigenous Bayou tribe in Homa, Louisiana. It's the first Native American-owned distribution company in U.S. history. It's also one of the first Black American-owned distribution companies in the United States. So I mean, we kind of scary, like the opportunities that exist because we just don't know what, but we know it's a direct correlation between that and our ability to scale, but also give other brands the opportunities to saturate different markets. A lot of times we kind of left out of that distribution space,
Mm-hmm.
and people want our biz. It's just that it's a lot of gatekeepers. So
Yes, yes, absolutely.
yeah,
That's amazing. I love that. I love that for y'all.
it's,
I'm
it's
really excited.
I'm excited. So it's
Yeah,
I haven't really processed it all yet, but the paperwork side of it was a pain, but at
I
the end,
bet.
got it through.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
Especially in this time during these days. I'm sure it was probably something else.
Yeah, I haven't even really shared that with too many people, to be honest with you. So it's
Exclusive. Ba, 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 ba.
no official press release, no official logo yet. You know what I'm saying? So we got a
Yeah,
couple good retailers on standby, a couple hotels that's waiting, and man,
that's
so I'll
excellent.
tell you that.
That's excellent. So I did not know. Did you say that you were part of a tribe as
Yeah,
well? See,
I'm
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm a member of the United Nations of Homa Indians. Again,
Mhm.
it's an indigenous tribe. It's about like 20,000 tribal members. And fortunately enough, like my family, we was able to retain a lot of our records. My grandmother, she was the town historian of
Mm,
Bayou Black community called Berwick, Louisiana, and
mm,
because of that, we was able to keep our records, even with the different changes. Well, a lot of people in that region was classification was changed from like people of color to Negro, Native American, Black American, African American. It's been a lot of changes that kind of removed
right.
our ancestry. So, we like to tell people that there's indigenous Black people here as well.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. Okay. So, um, we got successes. Is there a challenge that you've had that you would like to share as far as like this is a stumbling block that I had and this is how I was able to overcome it.
I mean, probably the most, I guess, the stumbling block I had to learn, like as far as just being in my space, is to have just to have accept the delayed gratification. Like a lot of times,
Mm,
we are like first generational entities coming into these spaces where you got fifth, sixth, and seventh generations. Um, you have to be in a mindset that is you build an institution, especially when you talk about most Black brewers that start up in their respective cities, they might be the first one. So
mhm.
sometimes having that delayed gratification, understanding that you're dealing with a lot of systemic challenges because each state has its own different laws and licensing. Um, it's never going to be an easy road. It's never going to be a guaranteed way. Even like your peers, they're traditionally like a lot of our peers in the space that's white owned. They get access to capital with no kind of hassles, and you can see by the rate of how many are opening and how many are closing. You know,
Yeah.
so it's things like that you got to just be cognizant of, and sometimes that can kind of play into your psyche because we all know we make some pretty good liquid. We got some pretty good beers. We definitely have the narratives and the stories, but oftentimes due to so many different systemic pressures, let alone financial training, it can be a very daunting task, especially when you like a CEO or like in a position where you have to um, be the decision maker to determine if you're going to continue forward or if you're going to make adjustments. So in my space, I had some maturing to do to kind of understand where we was at, and thankfully I adapted quick. And yeah, that was my biggest lesson, just kind of um, not letting the impatience of things change my momentum or my mindset.
Okay. Okay. So, being in New Orleans, tell me something other than Mardi Gras because I know people just say Mardi Gras. what is something, if I was coming to New Orleans, what would be the things you were like, I need to do this, or this part of the culture I want to share with you that's not Mardi Gras?
I'm gonna double back to Mardi Gras because they got one part of Mardi Gras that a lot of people miss. But
Okay.
Essence Fest, of course, is pretty amazing. I know it made some news and controversy, but I think
Yeah.
it took enough bashing where I imagine it'll be a better plan next year. But at the same time, you got so many people that migrate to the city just off, just automatic, like 500,000 people that descend on the city. It's going to be a good time regardless if Essence is in that space or not, because that time of the year, you naturally get a lot of people that come out and a lot of events that's hosted outside of that. But Bayou Classic between Southern and
Mhm.
Grand is always amazing. That's in November. You got First Quarter Fest. That's in April.
Ah,
Going back to Mardi Gras, a lot of people miss out on some of the associated pleasure clubs. You got like black associated pleasure clubs, like Mardi Gras crews, like Namtok, Zulu. Uh,
mhm.
I mean, they got a Zulu ball.
Yeah, I've
That
always wanted to go.
that's fire. I mean,
Mhm.
acts like Aretha Franklin. I mean, Patti LaBelle. You got Charlie Wilson. We had Boys the Men.
Mhm.
A lot of good acts that shut it down, and it's like damn near 40,000 people that's in there suited up, tux. It's a good time. It's worth checking out.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
but there's a lot of good things. I mean, even some of the surrounding areas. I mean, just Zydeco Fest. I don't know
Yeah.
if everybody is into Zydeco music, but it's I mean, got a lot of line dancing associated with that now. So I mean, it's a good time.
Mhm.
Festivals. Barrels on the Bayou for the big people out there. That's coming August. April 18th. It's an extension of Barrels and Flow Fest.
Mhm.
Cargo barrels
Yeah.
on the.
Yeah, that's that. They put out the tickets are going to be, I believe, available October 1st. So I
So
was like, okay, and he said everybody not going to be able to go.
yeah, it's about 1,000 strong this year. So
So yeah, so I was like, so I told the people in my chat, because it's closer, it would be easier to get to. I said, so everybody get your mind right,
mhm.
be there ready to pay. See if you can get the golden ticket. So yeah.
It's great now. If anybody want a little itinerary, I could send y'all that too. It's all love.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So let's talk about your beer. So since New Orleans has a really strong cultural identity, how is it influencing your beer? Tell us about your
so
iterations.
so with our products, we pretty much pay homage to Cajun, Creole, African diaspora, and home nation profiles. So like with distinction, a lot of our beers they incorporate honey and molasses, which
Mhm.
it does give our products a distinct characteristic, but also from a retailer standpoint, it pushes our shelf life up to 3 years before you taste any kind of funky flavors or anything like that
Okay.
because of the natural principles of the honey. So we don't use any kind of adjuncts, no flavor enhancers. Our honey ale is our main flagship that we've been doing now for about 14 years. Most recently, we've been the recipient twice of the National Honey Beer Awards, which the National Honey Board of America, which a lot of you don't know, they host a honey beer competition to
Hmm.
awareness about what they do, and we've been doing pretty well on that. So we've been submitting our product every year for the last 5 years. The last 2 years, we've won bronze twice out of 600 applicants. So we feel pretty good about that. And that product started out as a mead, and then we scaled it down, and that's how that's our flagship that we created. Another
Okay.
product we make that's kind of similar to like a Guinness is a Big Chief Cream Stout. We use vanilla bean into that, so you don't get some of those earthier notes. Very palatable, 5%. We call it our year-round stout, and now we've adapted where we really carry it in stores year-round. We also made a version of it called Big Queen, which is a porter. Like
Mhm.
a lot of porters don't get love, so we made
No.
a porter with molasses. And matter of fact, we made it with blackberries and molasses because we was playing into that Mister song. The
Uh-huh.
blackberries, molasses. I won't scare nobody by saying that. But it was that's the theme we went with that product. And even like with the can design, we featured Dawn Richards, who is a American pop singer, but she also does black masking like the Mardi Gras Indian suits. So we had her likeness on the can, and Yeah, even like with our designs, we don't use any kind of caricatures, anything like that. We just tell authentic New Orleans history. Like behind me, they got a Bayou
Mhm.
Cowboy White Ale that we made that we released. It's an IPA. It's 6.7%. If we had the backside of the can, it would tell the story of Louisiana cattlemen and the origin of the cowboy terminology.
Mhm.
Always try to encase our products in some kind of authentic Louisiana history to showcase like our talents, but also add some flood of the shelves. You know.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take a quick break because it is game time. So let's pull it up. Bayou Brews and Bites. So this game is going to be real easy. So you're going to be given a classic dish and you're going to try to match the beer style that complements the food. Now, my question to you would be, do you want to match your beers or do you want to match beers, period?
I'm gonna match beers. Period.
All right.
So we could just let's do it.
All right, let's go. So first off is gumbo.
Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, that's a tough one, but I'll match that with a doppelbock.
Doppelbock.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
you're gonna have that brothiness. You're gonna get more savory with the gumbo, and then with the doppelbock, normally it's like a hybrid of you get mild caramel sweetness, but it's also very earthy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Okay.
so you need a little something with a little alcohol kick in it. That's at least a doppelbock that's about like maybe 8%, just so it can add to it. But that's what I match.
Okay.
Everybody might be different, but that's me.
Okay. A shrimp po' boy.
A hazy
Mm.
bread,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
not overly bitter though, just a mild hazy.
Crawfish etouffee.
Uh, that's kind of in the same space as the gumbo, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe a golden ale.
A golden ale. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And uh, crawfish boil.
Or you gonna just want to do a pilsner with that?
Okay.
You know,
That sounds. Mm-hmm.
your palate gonna be shot.
No, no frills. No frills. Okay.
Nice clean pilsner, or even like like a lager or something like that.
Lager.
Something inexpensive.
Okay. Boudin balls.
Boudin balls. Do like an amber.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Amber. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And this is what. So when I come, this is what I want. I want.
Alchemy.
Yes.
uh, I would go with the doppelbock again, but
Mm-hmm.
something alternative to that might be a saison.
Mm. Okay.
Maybe even a sweet one because I mean it'll be a nice balance.
Yeah.
It tastes different.
Turtle soup.
Woo. See, I'm hungry now. Let's see. I do a stout.
Stout. Okay. Beignet.
But you can rock out with with breads like sweets. I think my favorite thing is like a stout, like a light stout.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because that's what I normally like to pair that with.
Okay.
Even sometime making beignets like the dough with infusing it with stout is yeah.
And I totally forgot my last one, which was frog's legs.
Now does everybody get like these these ranges of food? I'm surprised that
It's stuff that I eat.
Oh, all right. I'm surprised.
Other than turtle soup, I have had turtle before, but that was when I was very, 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 very little and very, very sleepy. It was like, you want some? And they were feeding it to me, and I was like, then they
Everybody
told me later what it was.
most people sleep on like boudin balls or like
Oh
just
no.
in general. That's like strictly like Texas and Louisiana right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, stouts go good with cakes, desserts. Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for playing. So let's talk about NB2A. So it's been a year, has been a year as far as your transition being president?
Just a little under a year, so I came into the
Yeah. Okay.
position in March.
So how has it been so far?
Well, first, it's definitely an honor to be in this space to be elected as the president for the National Black Brewers Association. I like to tell people a lot of times keep in mind it's a 3-year-old organization. It's still in its infancy, but it has so much potential. And like with the challenges that's predominantly being faced by us right now as a entity that represents Black interests. We got a lot of DEI removals and a lot of terminations that we've been finding from a lot of our partners. So I mean, it has been a more of a difficult stretch than traditional. But I think that the team that we have working with us, the executive director, who's Kevin Asado, some of the people that we have on our executive board, which include like Al Sharpton, Andy McGinnis from Vine Street in Kansas City. You got Richard Bloomfield. You got Garrett Oliver, and a lot of other people that's recognizable. It's an amazing team. It's a lot of fellowship. But I think we're all moving toward one goal to make sure this organization could be an organization that can be our shield and also that can influence policy and advocacy for us. Because there ain't that many. I mean, last time we did a post check, it's only about 85 Black-owned breweries that have EINs in the United States. And honestly, that number might shift a little bit going forward with the next year, with all the different inflations and tariff situations that's going on. I mean, running a small business is very difficult in itself. So, I have a lot of empathy in my space for other businesses and other people that practice auxiliary practices with this industry. And, I just want the most for us. So I think I'm uniquely positioned right now in the time when a lot of my business ventures are amortized and automated to have enough time to really fulfill the role of presidency and really, trying to push us to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the things I ran on pretty much was like increasing communication, expanding our footprint, and hoping that we have access to more traditional forms of access to capital. That's been the three, like I would say, Achilles heels of most small businesses, specifically access to capital, which I think for small Black businesses is a modern civil rights issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that I think that is one of the biggest crushing things as far as like a business trying to stay afloat, trying to do it and having to reinvent the wheel because doing, like the one that I was mentioning during the beer news, how they're doing investments or capital campaigns, and then just the down and dirty just asking for funds, just cash at me. It could be daunting. I can see that, as well as trying to get product out.
Right, and it's really not. I mean, like Fawn had mentioned in her comment, press comment. It's really not for the meek or mild, man. I mean, and that's unfortunate because you got a lot of people that's in this space that have the best intention and really pursue this industry to change their community, create jobs for their families, and again, you just see obstacles that we get faced with that are not even on the radar of other organizations or other demographics. So I think I love the mission that we stand for with the NB2A. It's classified as a 501c6, so it's membership serving, and I welcome everybody to check us out, be interested with us, meet some of our members, and join our tribe. I mean, we none of us are stronger than all of us, so.
So, what would you tell someone, especially because I know that we have the brewers that you're wanting to join that are part of the guild, but those like people like me, I know you're also wanting to bring them into the fold. So, what would you tell the Joe Schmo that doesn't have a brewery, but is wanting to support, but they're wanting to see, what they're getting in their value as far as supporting NB2A? What would you tell them?
Well, I mean, it starts at a community. It starts at a conversation, and I try to keep myself as transparent and open as possible. Like even like some of the consulting that I do under the organization, I got some gems I've been learning. I've been doing a lot of stuff under the silo, but when I give consulting advice, it don't come with an axe. And I view that as my form of leadership. And I know there's a lot of people that's on the board with me that have the same kind of mentality. So I think the more genuine conversations like that we can foster, the more support we can give back to the community. That's how we instill our value. I personally don't believe in just saying something. And God knows, like our funds are getting strapped on all kind of different platforms and necessities where utilities are going up and everything like that. So the value of the dollar is not what it used to be. But that means that people have to be much more selective in what they choose to invest in. So in our space, we just hopefully like to show that we are here in support. And if there are like individuals that want to contribute, we just try to make ourselves as accessible as possible. And again, we are like a smaller organization. We're a newer organization. Definitely a funding strap organization. We do a pretty big impact for how lean we are, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that with our consistency, it'll breed more of that outreach. And that's kind of all we have the capacity to do at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, is there something that I know you have your game plan as far as like the currently, but let's just dream a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do, or what would you have done as you're passing the torch over to the next president that you would have wanted to accomplish? Say, hey, I was able to do this, and you can run with it. If you just dreaming.
If in a dream state, I would love for us to our entity to have the same capacity of a CDFI, a Community Development Finance Institution. So let's just say if we were to get an endowment that was large enough to sustain itself, have a very clean operating capital, and have a revolving line of credit or money line to businesses or even grants, that would be ideal. We've seen that, you see that with a lot of different think tanks around the country.
Yeah.
But there's nothing aside from a few Black-owned banks. We haven't come across. I'm not aware of any Black-owned institutions that operate like that for industry-specific needs. As a matter of fact, like the NB2A, we're the first National Black Brewers Association. We're the first Black-owned nonprofit organization that represents the needs of anybody in the beverage and food sector. So that's telling in itself, which is we in 2025, 2023 was when it was founded. That's crazy.
So when you say that, you mean it's even as far as like the liquor side, distilling, they do not have that.
Just any fermented beverages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to be blanketed to go into other spaces, but even when you go into like other food sectors, that even that is, I wouldn't wager more than 5.
Mm-hmm. So some of my last questions that I have for you, I know that we had talked about international distribution. So tell me about how you've gone about with even trying to get into the international trade, and if there's some gems that you could share for people who's like, you know what, I would love to, have some stuff in Brussels, and this might be an avenue I could get to.
I got a big grin on my face, Angie. That's where it's at. If you let me put it like this. All right. So there's obviously a lot of obstructions to doing business in your own community, but sometimes you have to go outside, and I firmly believe that you have to be successful outside your hometown in a lot of scenarios to be accepted back again. So what we, and because there were so many obstacles, we had a couple of things where we were trying to get some developments done, but we found like our administrations was adversely working against our interests. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of being stagnant and waiting on their time, we found markets that were interested in our products overseas. And once we started peeling back the layers with that, we then found like a lot of different government resources that would aid you in as black or as American manufacturing bases to sell your products overseas due to the trade deficit that exists in America. And even if you look at the market right now, if you have a product that's on a retail store shelf, you're already competing in a globalized market. 85% of the products that's on the store shelves are not manufactured in America, from the beer to which is now owned by a lot of different foreign entities to just about everything else. So if there's a fear or a lack of intuition about like going into these markets or anxiety, you already in it. You might as well just take your product to the other nations that want your products. And normally our products come with very unique stories. They normally have a rich identity. They have the authenticity that these markets want. And once you get connected with your state, federal governments, I mean, it's not. I would say it's less of obstacles to secure those kind of contracts than it is to secure like your traditional bank loan.
Okay.
Yeah. So just for the sake of like having like something that's tangible, in each state there exists something called State Trade Expansion Program. In short, it's called STEP. If you Google search that, normally there's a process. It normally doesn't cost your business anything, and there are incentives for your products to be advertised and sold and marketed overseas. Sometimes it can range from like anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to upwards of $25,000. And these are resources that rarely get used by anybody. They kind of lay dormant. Some states hit just the right quota so they can keep it funded. Um, that's one example. And each region has a U.S. Trade Association that you can join for free, and they can give you agendas of when they have different trade shows. And we found that to be an advantage for us because we wasn't necessarily up and down. I don't speak any foreign languages. Um, I was just seeking for a way to surpass some of the systemic obstacles I had with my brand, and that's where the pendulum landed. So we've been doing pretty well. Like the countries that we've been making the most progress in is Japan, Singapore, and Spain. We had some footprints in Canada, but the whole U.S. tariff thing where they banned U.S. alcohols kind of put that on ice for a minute. And in late August, we're supposed to be meeting buyers in Colombia, Peru, and Chile.
Okay.
World
Okay.
products. So let's not hold ourselves back, right?
Yeah. So what part of Spain? Because I'm going that way out. Since I can't get it in Texas, maybe I can get it in Spain.
Well, my products they sold in Barcelona, Spain. So I ain't never been to Europe, but my products made it there. So we had some point of sales there. We also been picking up some traction in Slovenia. Like it might as well be Narnia to me. So I was like, all right,
Right.
roll with it. So eventually, maybe in like 2027, I might do a Europe tour. But right now, I focus on like the Asian markets because that's where we got the most action going on right now, specifically in like Tokyo, Japan, and Osaka, Japan.
Oh, great.
Yep.
That sounds excellent. Okay. Well, those are all the questions that I had for you this evening. I hope it wasn't too much, that I didn't get you on the game.
Medium roast coffee right now. I got kids. I just got humbled about some homework, some fifth grade math. So I'm talking all this trade stuff, but man, I looked at some equations now. I was like,
Oh no. Oh no.
uh,
Because I never would have thought that, math is supposed to be math, but then they change it around to make you're coming up with the same answer, but they have you doing it a different way. And so it's just like,
yeah, yeah. So I'm anytime you want to have me, Angie, I'm always open to hop on the program. And I love how you had the news segment because I didn't know all those details about like the Uncle Nearest situation. I knew like very shallow information, but I didn't know all that. I was like,
yeah, it's something else. And it's there's an update, so I'm sure we'll be revisiting it. So yeah.
Yeah, please have me back anytime. I love to be back again.
Well, thank you so much. And then I guess we'll do a shameless plug. Craft Beer Professionals will be together in New Orleans in December 8th through the 10th. So if you go to Craft Beer Professionals and click the link, I believe the registration and stuff like that is open. So you can come and see me and John, and we'll have a panel. We'll have a great discussion as well as others. So, but that was it. Thank you so much, John, for showing up and showing out with all your information. I really appreciate it. The audience is loving it. And I guess I will say good night. Well, again, this is Angie with Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. And we bid you good night.